Hello. Happy Chanukah, everybody. Tonight is the 5th night of Chanukah, and so I have a Chanukah story for you, and I brought my friend Milk to help me. Yeah, I'm going to have a midnight acting debut. I'm going to play all sorts of parts, not just the cow. Are you ready? I'm so excited. Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready? Yes. Go. Milk? What? I can't start until you stop talking. Oh, right. Okay. In the poor village of Wishnyak, there lived a milkman named Moishe and his wife, Bila. Now, Moishe only had 2 cows. Yeah, me and the other one. Go on. So he earned a meager living. Yeah. But he was always known to be a kind and generous man, always ready to help his neighbors, take care of all sorts of things. Now, Bila cooked and scrubbed and tried to scrape together a few kopecks to make a nice Sabbath meal. But, boy, could she scold. Yeah, everybody in the village said she had the sharpest tongue and little patience for Moishe's generous ways. Well, it was early winter, and already the winds were blowing icy down the lanes of the village, and many were starting to feel the pangs of hunger. Why, there was Malka the widow and her ailing son Shmuel, and Heshi Fenster out of work, and his wife expecting their 13th child. Well, that's a lot of kids. And then there was poor Booby Rivka, old and frail and housebound with her calico cat. Meow! What was that? I like cats. Okay. Well, anyway, Moishe was always very helpful. And when he was delivering the milk, he would always leave an extra quart of milk here or an extra pint of cream there, just to help out a little. Well, on the night before the first night of Chanukah, Rivka untied the knot in her handkerchief and she shook it in Moishe's face. Empty, she said. All because of your foolish generosity. Now, how am I supposed to buy the eggs and the flour to make our Chanukah latkes, let alone the oil to fry them in? Well, Moishe imagined coins dropping from her handkerchief right into the pan, and he could just see them turning into beautiful latkes. Why, he could almost smell the aroma. Well, he thought, we might as well just be grateful for what we have. And so he said, don't fret, Bila. We have enough potatoes and onions to make ourselves a nice pot of soup. But Bila wouldn't listen. Oh, how did I end up with this schlemiel when I could have married the baker's son? And she scolded on and on, hands on her hips, eyes rolling heavenward, until finally Moishe had to escape to the cowshed to get some peace. He flopped down in the straw, and suddenly he felt very, very sleepy. Moishe woke with a start. He looked around, trying to see who it was that was calling him. Well, imagine his astonishment when it turned out to be one of his cows. Moishe! Now, you've always been very kind to us. You clean our cowshed, and you feed us plenty, and you always milk us on time. So, although we seldom reveal our power to speak to humans, we want to help you. You mean you can talk? Yes, I just said that. Now listen up. While you were sleeping, a stranger came to the cowshed
for hours with tales of magic and adventure. It was great. We had such a good time. You snored loudly the whole time. Well, anyway, before he left, he hid a gift in the straw for you.
A gift? For me?
Yes, right down there. Go on, go get it.
Well, Moisha reached down into the straw and he felt something cold and hard. And when he pulled it up, it was an old pan encrusted with grease. Well, he tried hard not to show his disappointment. A pan?
No. Not just any pan. This is a special pan. Now look, he said that if you put it on the flame empty, it'll make latkes for you. Dozens of latkes, thousands of latkes if you want them. And then, when you have enough, take it off the flame and it'll stop. Now, it comes with a warning.
What kind of a warning?
To Moisha, this gift was given, and only Moisha must use it. You got that?
Yes. To Moisha, this gift was given, and only Moisha must use it.
That's right.
Well, Moisha showered his cows with thanks, and he milked them because it was early morning. And then he went inside and he hid the pan up on top of the wardrobe. Can you reach it?
Yeah, I think I got it. Oh, okay.
And that next night, he lit the candles with Bila, and they put them in the window, and when they were all glowing, he told Bila the whole story of everything that happened in the cowshed, including the warning. To Moisha, this gift was given, and only Moisha must use it. But Bila didn't believe a word of it. She said, "Oh, I've never heard anything so much sugar. A pan is a pan is a pan." Well, nonetheless, Moisha put the pan in the flame. It started to sizzle, and pretty soon the aroma of potatoes and onions frying hit his nose and made it twitch, made Bila's mouth water. And then there were the latkes. They were little golden pillows with edges like lace, and when they were done, they just floated up out of the pan. Well, imagine Bila and Moisha leaping in their kitchen, grabbing latkes out of the air, and then putting them on their plates. Well, when they each had enough, Moisha took the pan off the flame, and they sat down, and they had a wonderful Chanukah meal. And then they fell fast asleep that night. Well, Moisha tossed and turned and tossed and turned, twisting the girdle into knots. I don't know. Maybe he'd just eaten too many latkes. But the dreams he had, why, he dreamed they were all there. Malka and Shmuel and Heshi and his wife and all those kids and Rivka and even the calico cat. Meow. Well, he dreamed that they had plates and they were walking around the bed and just staring at him with hungry eyes. What a dream! Well, the next morning, when he was delivering the milk, he left a note on every single doorstep, and it said, "Happy Chanukah! Please come to Moisha the milkman's for latkes tonight." Well, that night, it seemed like the whole village of Wishniak squeezed into Moisha and Bila's little house, and there were latkes galore floating up in the air, and there was singing and dancing to Heshi's accordion, and of course the kids played with their little dreidels, their Chanukah tops, and everyone had such a great time. Well, except of course for Bila, who just stood apart, shaking her head, thinking, there goes Moisha again, foolishly giving things away. Why, if I could just get rid of him for a couple of hours. Oh, I'd take matters into my own hands. And you know what? That's exactly what she did. The next morning, she hid the Chanukah candles under the bed, and then she wailed, oh, Moisha, we have 6 nights left of Chanukah and no candles. And then she promptly sent Moisha to her sisters in the next village to get some more, knowing that it would take him a couple of hours to walk there and back. Well, the second the door slammed shut, Bila made herself a sign. It said, Bila's Cafe, luscious latkes, 1 kopeck each. And then she hung it in the window. Then she took down that pan, and she remembered the warning. Do you remember it? To Moisha this gift was given, and only Moisha must use it. But she thought, hey, why shouldn't I use it? I'm his wife. And so she put the pan on the fire, and it started to sizzle, and she waited for the familiar aroma to hit her nose, but it didn't. Instead, there was acrid smoke, and it made her cough. And so she took the pan off the flame, and it was too late. There was a coil of smoke coming up like a gray serpent, and it surrounded her and made her cough. So she took some water and she poured it on the pan, and every little droplet splattered and turned into a hairy little demon with pointy ears and a forked tail. And they started circling her around and around, giggling and pelting her with latkes. And then they took out their teeny tiny little handkerchiefs and they shook them in her face. And Bila turned this way and that way and this way and that way and turned around and around, trying to avoid them until she became so dizzy she swooned to the floor. Well, just at that moment, in walked Moisha on a draft of cold air, and behind him, the rabbi and the rabbi's wife, the Rebbetzim. Now, the Rebbetzim is the one who is in charge of selling the villagers the candles for the holiday. And she happened to have met Moisha on his way out of town, and she very kindly offered to give him what he needed. And Moisha, of course, invited the rabbi and his wife back to his house for latkes. Can I get up yet? No, Milk, you're still swooning. So, the demons took one look at the rabbi, and they shrieked in terror, and then they jumped back into the pan, and they disappeared in a puff of smoke. The Rebbetzim revived Bila with the smelling salts. The Rebbetzim revived Bila with the smelling salts. And that is when, for the first time in her life, Bila had nothing to say. The demons had scared her speechless. Well, forever grateful to Moisha for having saved her, Bila started taking time out of her cooking and cleaning to go and help in the cow shed. She'd help clean it and milk the cows and feed them, and why, Moisha found that he had a new love of entertaining, so he started cooking and cleaning and taking care of things in the house. And by the 8th night of Chanukah, Bila found that she could finally speak again. But now it was in a voice so kind that even the cows would converse with her. Yeah, we love our Bila. She's so kind and sweet, thoughtful even, yeah. And from that point on, Moisha and Bila were always seen delivering the milk together. But what about the pan? Huh? I'll tell you what, even back in Moisha's hands, that pan refused make another pancake. And so instead of sitting on top of the wardrobe, it was enclosed in a display case in the rabbi's courtyard. Well, the fame of its latkes and the tales of its demons spread, and people started coming from far and wide, hoping to catch an appearance of the demons under glass. Sometimes they did.
That was scary.
Well, all the people who visited needed food and lodging, hay for their horses, heels for their boots, and pretty soon, Wishniak became a bustling market town where nobody ever went hungry. And for years to come, even on the coldest Hanukkah nights, you can see the menorahs glowing in the window, and the smell of frying latkes rose in a golden haze that seemed to reach up to the stars. Snow on the rooftop, milk in the pail, that is the end of our Hanukkah tale. That was called Moishe's Miracle, and it was written by Laura Krauss Melman. Thank you for listening.